Hey, what's going on? My red pill. Come on, man. Why? Okay, okay. What's going on? What up, my red pill truthers? Ah, hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to my channel, Truth Hurts, where we're bringing the truth to y'all in full effect. No, no fat. We trimming off all the What up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, Truth Hurts, where we're bringing y'all all the truth, none of the fat, trimming off all of that, and bringing y'all what really matters. Okay, and it's your boy Moose. All right, got to bring that spicy, juicy information for y'all. Now, today's video. Uh, there's been some recent rulings, some changes going on in regards to Supreme Court. And what they're doing is talking about affirmative action and how that shit's got to stop. All right. Ain't no more freeloading based off just who you were born as and just based off your diversity. Okay. You ain't getting into colleges that easily based off that. Okay. And I think it's been a long time coming, you know, with uh certain sections of um, people, you know, certain demographics who felt like they're being excluded for having the same standards as some of the other people who've been being accepted into universities and colleges. But I want to say that this has been weaponized, okay? This has been weaponized, okay, to make people of color seem bad, okay, for the white liberals, okay? And we're going to get into this, but I just wanted to make sure you guys drop a like, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Definitely appreciate all the love and feedback and support, the hate, whatever it is, the love, it doesn't matter. I appreciate all of it. So I want to get into this video where we have the very hypocritical Joy Reid, okay, talking about how this is going to be such damaging effects for our legacy of colored people and people of multicultural backgrounds. Okay, so let's get into this video. But essentially, to make a long story short, okay, the Supreme Court made a ruling that effective pretty much immediately that affirmative action will pretty much be terminated. So you won't be able, like I said, you won't be able to use diversity as an inclusionary tactic to be able to get accepted to a college. Okay, so I want to talk about this, but before we do that, I do also want to bring up as well uh, about the Supreme Court ruling that they are not going to wipe off the student debt that's currently owed for this generation. So yeah, a lot of people are upset about that. A lot of people was thinking that the student debt was going to get wiped out. Nah, y'all got to pay for it. If the previous generations have got to pay for it, if the generations coming after us are going to have to pay for it, then we're stuck with paying for it too. Okay, sorry, ain't no one getting out of that. I got some student loans, very very small amount, but I got loans. Everyone, I mean, we all got to do what we got to do. We got to take care of our responsibilities, right? Right? Ain't nobody running from that. So, without further ado, let's just jump right into the video. Got the very hypocritical Joy Reid talking about this. So, let's just bring it up and see what she say.
Let me just be clear. I got into Harvard only because of affirmative action. I went to a school no one had ever heard of in Denver, Colorado, in a small suburb. I didn't go to Exeter or Andover. Yeah, I didn't have college test prep. I just happened to be really nerdy and smart and have really good grades and good SAT scores. Right. But someone came to Denver, Colorado to look for me. A Harvard recruiter flew to Denver, and I met up with her at the Village Inn restaurant and did a pre-interview to get to pull me into Harvard. I was pulled in, and the schools like Harvard and Yale that I got into affirmatively.
Yes.
And it was literally not saying we're going to take an unqualified person and put them in Harvard. Yes. We're going to take a very qualified person who we would never know existed and put them in Harvard. That's how I got there. That's how Ketanji got there. That's how Justice Jackson, I should say. Justice Jackson got there. It's how Clarence Thomas got there. Right. But the minute I arrived from my majority Black little town, Montbello in Denver, to Harvard, the first week or two that I was in class, my presence.
You see right there, that's a lie, because she definitely went to Brooklyn and was going to school there before she actually started going to Harvard. So she actually was in New York City and Brooklyn before she actually got accepted to go to Harvard. So she's just telling y'all some lies just to kind of fit the narrative of her story. But continuing on.
Was questioned by white people. I was in this big conference class where some white students stood up and said, those students, the Black students, they're only here because of affirmative action. It became a huge argument that we all ended up having. This was freshman year. I had never had my academic credentials questioned. I had never had anyone question whether I was intelligent until I got to Harvard. And it was a defining point of my experience there. It's why I really was one of the many reasons I was miserable there my freshman year. Yeah. You feel completely out of place and people keep telling you shouldn't be here.
That has got to be one of the most cringeworthy self-owns ever. The ultra-left MSNBC's Joy Reid is the very definition of self-unawareness. Did you hear what she just said? At first, she actually admits that the only reason why she got into Harvard was because of affirmative action. Those were her very words, quote, I got into Harvard only because of affirmative action. Those were her exact words. She admits there on live television that affirmative action was the only reason why she got into Harvard. Now, that was bad enough. That was bad enough for Reid to get mercilessly mocked on Twitter. The Daily Caller responded, to the surprise of no one. Scott Adams wrote, Joy Reid accidentally has the best argument against affirmative action. Spitfire, Joy Reid is exactly why affirmative action needed to be abolished. And Twitchy Team wrote, Joy Ann Reid confirms the least surprising revelation ever. So not only did Reid dig her own grave with that comment, admitting that affirmative action was the only reason why she got into Harvard, the least surprising revelation ever, but then she goes on to reprimand and rebuke her fellow Harvard students, those white students, for pointing out the truth. She was upset that the white students there called her out for precisely what she admitted, for getting accepted only because of affirmative action. She admits that affirmative action was the only reason why she was admitted to Harvard, and then she freaks out at the students who happened to point that out. I mean, what do you say to this? She's such a parody of repulsiveness. Now, if you think Joy Reid is confused in all this, she's not alone. Here's one Joe Biden, bike riding Biden, trying desperately to coherently explain why the Supreme Court was wrong to abolish affirmative action.
Some of your former Senate colleagues on the Judiciary Committee would go as far as to say that it's anti-democratic. Do you agree with that?
Well, you know, if I say it's anti-democratic, then it gets
in a lot of trouble.
No, but it is. Its value system is different, and its respect for institutions is different, and in that sense, it is not as embracing of all what I think the Constitution is.
The hypocrisy, man. That's all I'm going to say. Hypocrisy. Moving on.
It says we hold these truths to be self that all men and women are created equal, endowed by their creator. It's a uniqueness of America. We never fully lived up to it.
This man was saying something completely different just about 30 years ago. Okay. He was saying something completely different on all the television screens, highly documented. You can find this very easily, very searchable.
Never walked away from it. And this court seems to say that no, that's not always the case. The idea there's no right of privacy in the Constitution, giving states power that we fought a war over in 1860. I just think it's this is not your father's Republican Party.
I'll be back.
No, it's not. He will be back, gang. He is back, gang. It is time to celebrate the great return by clicking on that link below and getting your very own Trumpinator 2024 bobblehead in preparation for Donald Trump's glorious reascendance to the United States presidency. I've got mine, gang. It's absolutely awesome. I keep it right here on my desk. This collectible bobblehead from Proud Patriots is made with the highest quality material and really is a must-have for any Trump fan who wants to send some energy towards what's shaping up to be the most glorious political comeback in history. Now, don't wait. There are just a limited number of these collectibles, and you certainly don't want to be paying way more later on in eBay from someone who bought one now. So whatever you do, don't wait. Click on that link below right now and show your support for Trump 2024 today. What a bumbling, incoherent clown. I mean, did you catch it? There were two slip-ups there. What was the first one? According to Biden, the Constitution says we only choose to be self-evident. Does it? Does it now? Does the Constitution say we hold each? Of course not. That's the Declaration of Independence. And last I looked, secondly, we didn't fight a war over all this in 1960. I mean, the guy's just cognitively gone. But the legacy media doesn't care. No one cares. Not what. Can you imagine Trump saying these things? What the reaction would be on the front pages? But despite all of that, right? Just think of the incoherence of the argument. Just think of it. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are what? Created what? Equal. The Supreme Court's decision to abolish affirmative action protected and defended that very guarantee. That's the whole point of the decision. The decision is overturning reverse discrimination. My namesake, Jonathan Turley, professor of law at George Washington University, pointed out the justices enforced what they saw as the self-evident guarantee referenced in the Declaration and later protected in the 14th Amendment. The court reaffirmed unequivocally that all men and women are indeed created equal and will be treated equally in both education and employment. And Biden and Reid weren't alone in spouting their rank absurdities. Whoopi Goldberg, the borderline illiterate, opened up her mouth and said this.
The Supreme Court has upset a 45-year precedent, ruling it unconstitutional for universities to consider race in admissions. Now, the 14th Amendment is supposed to promise equal protection. But if everyone was actually treated equally, we wouldn't have had to put in affirmative action. So, when you have a justice who says something as ridiculous as "I don't get it," right, it just makes a kid, an Asian kid, a Native American kid, a black kid feel like you don't matter. Right. Like you don't understand why my struggle is hard, or your struggle, or your struggle. You know, is this leading to no women in colleges soon?
So according to the woke, liberal, ill logic of Whoopi Goldberg, getting rid of affirmative action means that we're headed to no more women in colleges soon. Soon. It's not just a matter of us heading towards a future where there'll no longer be women in college, but we're now heading towards that future soon. Lightning speed, man. And I'm sorry, I just have to ask, I mean, given this is Whoopi, right? Hey, Whoopi, what precisely is a woman? You seem so confident in your assertion there, so perhaps you could actually define what a woman is? Yeah, no one here is holding their breath. That's for sure. Once again, I mean, what do you say to this, gang? What do you say? The whole point of the Supreme Court ruling was an outright rejection of discrimination in college admissions. That's the whole point. The point was to reject discrimination, Whoopi. How on earth can you even remotely come to the conclusion that a ruling rejecting discrimination upholds and enforces it? Actually, there's only one way if you think about it. And that's if you try to make the insane argument, like these woke illiterates are trying to do, that racial discrimination can only be done away with by embracing and employing it.
I think we're gonna stop there today, guys, because uh, he said it best. You know, essentially, you're contradicting yourself by saying that this is not acknowledging race because it's actually uh, discrediting that, and stating that no, we're not going to be looking at race as far as admissions. So I think that there's a very hypocritical narrative lens that's being in perspective that's being applied to this. Essentially, people have to get out of the way of this and essentially think for themselves and say, why is this being changed? It seemed like it was actually being racially discriminatory against other races as far as including these races to get admitted to colleges. You know, that's why you hear so much clamoring from these different groups. You know, these different demographics, such as the Asian community and the Native American community and the Latino community. And you know, a lot of the African American community, we were definitely benefiting from this. Some other races were benefiting from this, and you know, but I mean, not to undermine what Whoopi said, that essentially it was created because there was no equality for Black people, but now that it's been reversed, is reverse racism. That's why they had to get rid of it. So yeah, the hypocrisy is strong with these people and their narratives. So we just have to look inside and see the real truth of what's really being said, okay, and find out what's really what the real truth is, because a lot of this is BS, and they're feeding you lies, and you're not able to discern for yourself unless you actually take a look deeper as far as what's actually going on. So yeah, guys, I'm just gonna leave it there. A lot of good things were said in this video. Just want to make sure I brought this to your attention as far as what's being said and what's being talked about, pretty much around the water cooler right now. But y'all already know, man, the truth hurts, but somebody's got to bring it to you. All right, it's your boy Moose. I'll catch you guys in the next live video. Peace. All right, man. Wow, that was a lot that was said there, and I think that he brought up a lot of good points. You know, basically showing the hypocrisy of Joy Reid and Biden, and then of Whoopi. You know, now me, I've actually haven't benefited from affirmative action, and I'm Black. So what does that say? Oh, so every Black person is benefited from this? No, get out of here, man. This is something that needed to be abolished a long time ago. Okay, and now that they got a Black Supreme Court justice who's actually spearheading the charge of this, they want to turn it back to racism and flip it all on its head. Man, don't listen to these narratives, okay? They're trying to tell you, they're trying to sell you water and tell you that it's milk, okay? That's essentially what's going on. So, yeah, man, we have to just look into, be more intuitive, look into the real truth as far as what's actually going on, okay? Can't play into these agendas and these narratives, man. But I'm out of here, man. It's your boy Moose. Just had to bring some more truth to y'all. And I'm definitely going to be dropping more videos just like this. So make sure y'all stay tuned. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.